Sammi Awuku is a close associate of Dr. Bawumia and also MP for Ekwapim North. Mr. Awuku, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Thank you, and a very good morning from your fellow constituents. You know, people don't know you also, your part comes from my constituency.
All right. Yes, of course. My mother's father is from your constituency, so I
yeah,
that.
So that means you yourself, you have to be paying some dues. We've left you for far too long.
No problem. We can discuss that after the show. Congratulations to you, and also
thank you.
Because I'm looking at the results and I see the numbers for Ekwapim North. Dr. Bawumia had 73.3%. That's 556 votes. That's one of the higher percentages in the region. In fact, I think apart from in Sawam Adoejiri, this may be the highest Doc got in the Eastern region, if I'm not mistaken.
Ebuakwa South in Sawam Adoejiri, Suhum and Ekwapim North.
So those are the top four.
Yeah, I'll be teaching obviously for the Honorable Brian, but the top five in the region. Dr. Brian won his own constituency, which was expected. But next to instance for the Bawumia project, the highest came from Ebuakwa South, followed by some home and then a couple. It was one of the highest.
Ebuakwa South is interesting because the former president did not vote, and he assumed a neutral posture. So for his
former president doesn't vote in Ebuakwa South when it comes to internal primaries.
No, he didn't vote anywhere at all. We are told he didn't vote at all.
No, like I'm just. So it's in a general election when he votes in a constituency. It comes to general party election. Self-President Kufuor, Council of Elders, and all the vote at the headquarters.
Okay. No, I was using that more to suggest that that's where it's from, but I get your point because the MP is Atachia. So, by the way,
the MP is Siajaman.
Forgive me. Former MP is Atachia, who also support.
Yes.
Yeah. The reason I'm even doing this opening questioning is what type of influence does an MP have over the delegates in his constituency? So that if 73.5% of Ekwapim North voted for Bawumia, how much of that will we attribute to the fact that you are a key supporter of Dr. Bawumia?
Well, let me say good morning again to your cherished listeners, and the congratulations that you also did say is in order. If you ask me about the results from my constituents, I think it also has to do with the relationship between the MP and his delegates and his constituents. For many of them, they know Dr. Bawumia, but they will also tell you, because of my MP, I'll vote for him. Or because of my MP, I'll vote for him. Or they also tell you that I like Dr. Bawumia, I love his policies and vision, I'll vote for him. So it's a mixture, it's a cocktail. And that the influence of a member of parliament, especially when we've come out of a very, very difficult 2024 elections, the party delegates at this point in time, their God, their MC, their DC, their flag bearer, their president is their MP when it comes to the party delegate. And so in a typical conservative party system, the base looks up to the top for direction as well. And so that is why when people were discounting the influence of the members of parliament who had declared for Dr. Bawumia, in excess of 60 members of parliament out of the 88, I was a bit surprised because if you study the conservative and the center-right political parties, the influence of their leaders on their decision-making is quite enormous. And I've had this experience working closely with the Republicans in the U.S., working with the conservatives in the U.K., and also working closely with the CDU of Germany. It's always been their style. And so unless you don't understand this center-right ideology and how they tend to make decisions, you will discount the influence of their members of parliament or their leadership from the top.
Fair enough. So clearly, of course, we've known that you've been a Dr. Bawumia person for long, and that influence. Can we then say the opposite is also true, that if a constituency had a high vote margin for Kennedy Japan, the MP played a role? Because, of course, the Herald, for example, has outlined some key names: Charles Forson, Tema Central, Apenyo Makin, Futu, Stephen Amoa, Inshaeso, Abenose Asari, Atiwa East, and says they supported Kennedy Japan, and the margins he got there also suggest then that clearly they had a role to play in his numbers there. And so therefore they are even in danger, according to that article the paper wrote, that they may be in danger because they didn't support the winner.
Let me drill down before I even come to the fallacy of the argument. If the names that you have called, Abna won her seat, and it's obvious she supported the Honorable Kennedy Japan. Charles Forson did not win Tema Central for Kennedy Japan. Dr. Bawumia won in Tema Central. In Shiaso, as also did indicate, Dr. Bawumia won in Shiaso constituency, even though the Honorable Dr. Stephen Amwa supported the Honorable Kennedy Japan. And then the Honorable Alexander Senyamak and the minority leader. I didn't see him on record take a position of declaration that he was supporting the Honorable Kennedy Japan or otherwise. But he has never also hidden his friendship, his long-standing relationship and friendship with the Honorable Kennedy Japan. So a position that he adopts without saying that I am for A or B, for assigns and agents or people around him who may also say that, oh, because our MP is close, I'm choosing these words carefully, because our MP is close to the Honorable Kennedy Japan, let's also support him in this bid. But I want to put on record, I do not have any singular, any classical example of an open declaration where the minority leader made his support open for any of the aspirants. You can have your own perception, you can have your own thinking about it, but that one, opinions are like notice. People do have them. But then let me go to the article that you just spoke about. For us around Dr. Bao, for those of us around Dr. Bawumia, our primary focus is how to help him champion some very serious reforms within the party. He himself did speak briefly about it in his victory speech. And I know one of the things that is yet to start is how to restore the voting status of our external branches delegates. This issue of proxy, he thinks that decision by the Presidential Elections Committee was perverse and was erroneous, and it's something that should not be made to stand going forward. I also do know that he's also worried about how the party can quickly put itself together, reorganize its base, and make sure that we are in a clear mindset to working towards Victory 2028. And also the feel and the look of the NPP brand as it stands today. It's one of the things that in private he's been discussing on how we can make the NPP once again a party of choice, a party that's loved and respected by the middle class as their home, a party that also champions policies that entices the business community and the captains of industry and the employers in general, and also how the party responds to the changing trends on the ground, making sure that those also below the ladder, at the bottom of the ladder, let me say, also see the NPP as a party that responds to their needs in terms of our pro-poor policies. So yes, there's a lot to be done, and he's also very much firm on the issue of discipline. He thinks that a party that is not disciplined cannot win an election. He's determined that he's going to reach out to each and every one that he believes has a role to play, and people who feel bitter and sidelined by our policies and programs as a party within the system and outside the party. So on his own, he's been doing much before the elections, and he was fortified in his belief that this election he was going to win. That I can tell you for a fact.
Fair enough. Did the 56.48 come as a surprise, and is it disappointing that he got a lower percentage than he did in 2023, when indeed the trend for your party has been that when somebody tries for a second time, he does much better with delegates?
I think that, in all fairness, the campaign internally, we projected a win between 55 and 57% internally. And looking at all the polls that we conducted internally, all the outlooks, all the propositions and our projections did rest within that range. And so one was not surprising. And again, the dynamics of this election is totally different. And totally different from elections we've had in the past. We've never had an elections where you had over 70 to 150 policemen at a polling station, meaning that the stakes are high. You've never had elections where you buy pounds and keep back and all that being shown even in the open. You've never had an elections where, for us as a campaign team in 2023, we didn't embark on multiple strategies where we call it deep dives. That's an internal strategy where we had to use a cyclical, where at every electoral area we had people from the center to the region, the constituency to.
Sammi, we are having some challenges. If you could reposition, I suspect you are still in your constituency. We will reconnect because the interview is not done at all. It's 8:49. We're speaking to Sammi Awuku. We are just trying to be sure the line is better. We have a few more questions to ask. He is one of the key advisors to Dr. Bawumia's campaign team, an MP for Ekwapim North. We just basically getting his reaction to some of the issues we've been discussing on the program. Your views are welcome. 053-998-6996. How does Dr. Bawumia unite the MPP, and how does he convince Ghanaians that the MPP deserves a chance in 2028, which is 2 years away? That's the main subject for the discussion today. My colleagues are here with me, Godfred Akotoboafu, Kakra Forsen, and Caleb Kuda. Let me see if I have the connection. Sammi, thanks for your patience. So we have
That's fine.
Yes, we have you back. So your point is that he is focused on the branding of the party, uniting the party, and all of this. I just wanted to pick a point. There seems to be obviously some clamor around some repercussions for how people voted. Are you saying that Dr. Bawumia is not interested in that at all? That he's not interested in saying there must be a reshuffle of, say, the minority leadership or anything like that? Are you saying that on record?
I don't know what you mean by saying
No. What I'm saying is that
he has just been elected flag bearer. Let me be frank.
Okay.
The man has just been elected flag bearer less than 48 hours. And as we speak, personally, since Saturday night that we saw him off from the party headquarters, I'm yet to see him. Myself and my colleagues who work closely with him, we are yet to see him this morning. And so I don't know the other stuff that maybe you discussed, but what I do know is key to him now is how the NPP positions itself in the minds of the Ghanaian people. And that's why I said that the look and feel brand of the NPP is something that he's determined to work on. He's also determined to work on the issue of discipline. He says that a party that is not disciplined cannot win an election. Again, he's also determined to make sure it becomes a party of choice and the home, once again, for the middle class of our people, and also the employers, the captains of industry. And then those at the bottom of the ladder who still find the NPP as a party that normally promotes issues that affects them. Under President Kufuor, you had very great policies of the free maternal care, the school feeding program, the national health insurance. These are pro-poor policies. And then under President Kufuor, you had another ambitious program of the free senior high school and other things. So now he believes that these pro-poor policies, we did implement them when we were in government. What went wrong is about time that we find that disconnect. And for him as a person, the key thing for him now is how to reunite the base of our party, making everybody feel part of his vision and plans towards 2028 and beyond. And those of us around him, it is our duty to make sure that we don't go on a personal level, how we can help the man to succeed in winning the presidency of our country and implementing the bold policies and ideas that he has nurtured all these years.
So let's deal with the issue of unity. He did say in Tree that one broom will break, but a multiple broom works. So clearly he knows that unity is his main preoccupation for the party in terms of reuniting the party. On that, how did you assess the performance of a person like Brian Champong? 18%. Was that part of your projections? You said you were expecting 55, 57, so that's fine. Did you think
internally?
Yes. But did you see him, a third candidate, doing as well as he did?
Well, personally, one thing that we also did note in our own internal projections was that we believe that between Brian and Ken, they were not going to cross 40%. That is based on our own internal projections. And we also felt that the other two aspirants were also going to pull up a bit. But he has great respect for all his colleagues and in the contest. And I honestly think that in politics and elections, nothing should surprise you. We never expected to lose a huge number of seats during 2024 general elections, but it happened. So you take one election at a time. And dissecting into the details, the figures, and I also will tell you that Dr. Bawumia, right from the word go, internally we knew we were going to win these elections. But honestly, at the point in time, people saw that it was going to go into a runoff. We wanted to avoid that. I can tell you for a fact as well. Because we didn't want to complicate matters within the party. We wanted the elected candidate to have an emphatic victory, the moral authority to lead the largest opposition party into the 2028 general election. What we wanted to avoid was a runoff situation where then it becomes very difficult to do the calculations and all.
How do you interpret the 42% that did not vote for him, or even 43% that did not vote for him? Does that weaken his mandate? Does that make it imperative that he's seen working with the 2 or 4 losing candidates more directly?
He's going to work with everybody. And mind you, between him and the closest contender was a 33-point gap. Between him and the one who placed second was 33-point gap. So that is significant in such an election. That notwithstanding, the MPP's problem will not be the big men who contested. It will be those around the big men who were on the ballot. Our commentary, our conduct, our ability to accommodate dissent, and also have in mind the bigger picture of the party winning the 2028 elections. And that is why it's often said that the victor must be magnanimous in victory, and the loser must be gracious in defeat. So let me use also your platform to also make a case that our commentary for those who supported Dr. Bawumia, our commentary should also reflect his views, his persona, and what he stands for. And I mean, as for a little teasing, trolling here and there, it's part of the political game, but it shouldn't degenerate. Let's not overly rub it in for people to feel that then I'm not totally welcome. No. A little teasing here and there is normal. I mean, it adds on to the cocktail of this whole politics. But make sure that the language is decent. Make sure that, there's an end game. Let's look at the bigger picture of making the man not just a flag bearer as he's just been elected, but making him president of the republic.
The elections were very peaceful, and everybody is commending the MPP for this. But the concern has been the money matter. We have seen videos of delegates saying that if you don't give me my money, I won't vote. That some of them said their coordinators are sitting on their money. In fact, what
work did they do?
Let me finish the question. Watie Jaku, a former minister, has condemned the growing influence of money in our politics. Speaking to media after the elections, he says, unfortunate that not just in MP but across the entire political spectrum, money is becoming a big factor in elections. And of course, we all saw the videos. So my point to you is, as a campaign team and as a party, what do you have to say about that? Where we have seen videos of people saying, Bawumia is supposed to, my 500 from the Bawumia camp has not come. My 700 from Brian has not come. We heard that. We saw that all over.
Somebody paid 700?
Well, that's what your people are saying. I'm not. The videos are there, unless you've not seen them.
I haven't seen them.
Oh, I'll forward them to you. There are lots. They are playing all over on social media. Even Ejaku commented on this.
I'm not discounting what you're saying. I'm just saying I haven't seen them. But notwithstanding, I think if what you're saying is true, then the party must also interrogate these matters, because it can undermine the democratic process. People should be able to make their decisions not under the influence of money. But I can also tell you that I'm happy that even with the figures you are mentioning, I haven't seen them, but with the figures you are mentioning, it shows that the one who paid highest was not even the winner. If there's anything to go by, am I right?
Well, according to that particular voice clip. But by the way, did your campaign team give money to delegates?
I haven't been part of any meeting that money should be given to delegates. I wasn't part of any of such meetings. But if somebody, ferrying somebody from one point to the other, a decent TNT to support the person or the constituency, I don't think that one is bad. But where it becomes the focus, the fulcrum around which a decision is made, that is where then it becomes very dangerous for democracy.
So did your campaign team give TNT to delegates?
For this particular election?
Yes, did you give them TNT?
And then maybe not from the center that I know, unless people decided to support on their own.
So for your constituency, did you give your delegates TNT to help them?
I hold it as a duty to bring them from the hinterlands, and they will tell you that our member of parliament provided at least some buses for those who are far away from the center. So I supported them to come and vote. And I was clear in my mind. I told them that, look, vote according to your conscience.
So you did you provide them buses, or you give them transportation?
Those that were far away, I supported to provide them with buses. Those that could walk in, they walked in to come and vote. That's all.
And what about those who couldn't get into the bus? Were they sent money to help them come?
No. You have to come in and vote. You don't have to make money a deciding factor before you can come and exercise your franchise. I can only speak to my
but what about after voting? Were they giving money to help them reach their houses?
The buses that, for me, I provided for those who are from far places, like the Mangwasi areas, and where the last time I met up around the legacy areas, these were far away from Ekropon. At least when I supported them with the bus to Ekropon to come home, and the buses to them. And I didn't wait voting to finish for you to put out towards you, engage them or meet them. You allow the person the free will to make it, and they respect the decision of the person. And that is why they were not under any influence of 566 to want to go with Dr. Bawumia. 117 said no, you want to go with Trump. 82 said no, you want to go with the Honorable Kennedy Japan. And then 3 of them said they want to go with Cabinet Japan. 1 of them said I want to go with Dr. Trump. So it reflects the diversity of opinion.
What about food? Were they giving physical food or money for food?
I didn't provide money for food. Money for food I didn't.
But
we were very happy. We were very happy to have the women organizers themselves put together some food packs to support their colleagues. And I think that is not a strong. The women organizers are not contesting.
So if you hear delegates from various constituencies saying that they are 500 from DOC did not reach them, what would you say?
What did you go to do? That you're asking for the 500 or 300 or 800 or 1,000. You have to ask the what work.
But would you investigate and check with your team whether they provided any 500 for people? Since you didn't, people are saying that they were expecting 500 from Bawumia. So that 500 they were expecting.
The good news is that once they were expecting and it did not come, meaning that the money was not part of our.
Only those who did not get were complaining.
And who are these people? May I have the names of
the audios are all over. I'll forward them to you. We don't need. Some even mention their names. In fact, to be fair, there are some of the reports. For example, in the constituency, I'm coming. Tema East. I'm coming. No, I'm serious. Tema East. A lady mentioned her name and then said that she didn't have her money. A couple of places they mentioned their names and said their money hadn't reached them yet, but they were hoping they would get it. So this is all over. I'm not even sure.
I think then that must be investigated by the party and the presidential elections committee, so that the people too can have an opportunity to also clear themselves.
So we should investigate the fact that they didn't get the money or that money was allegedly offered.
They should investigate the fact that money was allegedly offered. As for somebody waiting to receive, the person had committed no crime. You are offering. So we have to find out indeed if some of these things did occur. But I'm happy to note that it wasn't the highlight of our just ended presidential primaries. I think everything was peaceful. I think it was fair. I think it was transparent, and that's why nobody is raising a whisker that I was shortchanged and all that.
No, fair. I mean, the peace, wonderful, fairness, of course, it depends on money. Our electoral laws frown on giving people money to vote. And because of the widespread nature of the report, I'm interested in knowing what you think should be done to a candidate who is seen to have given money for people to vote for them. or to
So
voters
meaning
before the
that,
election?
so what you're saying is that first of all, we have to be able to investigate whether Dr. Bawumia did approach delegates and give them money personally, whether Dr. Brian Champo approved these delegates and give them money personally, whether Dr. Duchum Kobneje Japan and the Honorable Kenneth Japan also approved these delegates directly and give them money. You don't have to just
No, not directly. Not directly.
speculate.
No, what I'm saying is that what we need to investigate is whether it was done on their behalf and whether they approved of it or knew of it.
Yes. So you have to investigate all that. If indeed what you are saying, you have seen these videos, I haven't seen them. That's for the records, I haven't. And then secondly, you are also making a profound statement that some claim that their 500 or 700 did not come or he came.
Oh, yes.
I haven't seen them. So I want to go by what you're saying. Assuming without admitting that what Bernard Avila is saying is true, it's important that the party interrogates these matters. And then where the party gets to the bottom of the matter, they can stick to it. What we can say from the Bawumia side is that we procured this victory not on the altar of money, not on the altar of anything underhand. We got this victory. In fact, I even told Hansen, the Citi FM reporter and ChannelOne reporter, that this victory was snatching victory from the jaws of tigers, because one person was on the butcher's table and all the four had their guns pointed at him. They had to keep his composure. He had to navigate the storm and come out still unscathed. So it was a hard-fought battle and a well-deserved victory.
211,000 is a big number of people to vote. Some people believe that for good politics, to reduce the influence of money and also to strengthen the party internally, they should increase that number further to all card-carrying members. Is this something you personally believe would help reduce the influence of money in our politics and also deepen democracy?
Or maybe I wouldn't like to speak for or against, but proponents of this idea should give me examples of just 3 political parties in the world where every card-bearing member votes in their internal elections. Just 3. We are not the originators of democracy, so we also learn from best practices. So I want just 3 examples.
To convince you that it's practical.
Yeah, to convince you. Because you see, Bernard, this is politics. If I am your opponent, I just have to throw in many more people to join your party and get a card.
Are you saying that the internal processes for determining membership, because as I talk to you, I'm sure you know very well a lot of the MPP sympathizers in Ekwapim North. You have visited almost every enclave in that constituency. If they have if you set up a process to register MPP members in Ekwapim North, with the executives you have, I doubt it very much that a known NDC person can come and get an MPP card and you will not know. I doubt it very much that there will be people who infiltrate your political party.
Even in my current album, Bernard, in my current album, I can tell you that there are a couple of known NDC people who were able to find their way into the album.
But you've caught them. Yes. Is that not the
but they are in the album. They have a 4-year mandate. Their mandate ends in March. And it's based on our scrutiny that we later uncovered that these were people of the NDC stock. So if you are going to open your goalposts unprotected and ask that every card-bearing member should come and vote in your internal primaries, you know what? They are going to be electing leaders for you to face their beloved party. Personally, that's why I'm saying that I want solid argument. I don't want emotions. Give me examples of 3 political parties around the world where this has been implemented and is been successful in its execution.
Well, we have also spoken about innovation, right? We are talking about Ghana's democracy being a shining star in Africa. Indeed, we are one of the most functional democracies on the continent. So maybe countries are waiting for us to do it so they learn from us. If our democratic measures are so great, we shouldn't be asking for evidence from elsewhere. We should be saying this is the way to go, so we reduce. Because I mean, for me, of course, we can talk about this all day. I'm not even necessarily pushing that. I'm just saying that many people have suggested that if you want to influence the role of a few delegates to choose a man who could potentially become our president, Because indeed, once a person leads NDC or MPP, it's very clear that they are going to.
One thing I've come to understand, Bernard, when it was 2,700 delegates, we said that let's expand it. Because when we expand it, it's going to deal with the issue of monocracy. We expanded it to have almost 200,000 delegates. And then these 200,000 delegates, we still said that there's still influence of money. Let's expand it. We expanded it now to in excess of 211,000. So it should tell you that maybe it's not just expansion, but we need to look at something critically with the foundation and how this whole thing is structured. I do not think that the expansion against towards one man, one vote, maybe I could be convinced tomorrow. I'm not saying that I will never be convinced, but that as I sit here today, I need to be convinced. And of course, when superior arguments are raised, I'll defer to the superior argument. But I just think that let's not take an emotional decision that let everybody vote will be the answer. I haven't seen that as any shining example anywhere.
Well,
Number two,
of course, go ahead.
It has the potency. It has the potency of even adulterating, in fact, diluting your party system. Whether you like it or not, every political party, they won't tell you in the open, but they are their own secrets as well.
Just a final point on that. We have a national ID system that we are continuously improving. That's number one. Number two, there's a system in which you can use. We are not saying everybody holding a card should vote. You could say members in good standing who have paid up their dues, because funding of political parties is a big issue. If, for example, our political parties found a way of saying members in good standing who have maybe used Momo to contribute for maybe a period, right? Because I can have a political party card as a nominal member, but if I've contributed my dues for over, say, a year, and there's a record of that, but what people are saying is that it will even help the parties themselves know better who their database is, who is a dormant member, who is an active member. So it's an idea that can be refined. But the general principle is that if you expand, if you expand the electoral college, you reduce the influence of people hijacking the process by paying money to delegates.
So it's a mass election. First of all, this electoral college was in excess of 211,000 people. And it is the largest electoral college on the continent of Africa. No political party beats the NPP's electoral college. That's up today. And so for me, it is already a functional matter. But maybe what we have to address critically, some of the issues that come out, you keep reforming, you keep improving. But opening the goalposts and telling me that just the person also paying dues are Momo and all, and being good, dues are no more than 5 cedis or 10 cedis a month. I can have 3 party cards and be paying these dues across the parties. That's not how political parties we are made. We go through the mail to make sure we scrutinize and get people who are even our members. We take them through some tests and trials before they even become your executive at the polling station level. Even with this robust system, you can have your non-party being smuggled into it. You have to be careful with how you are opening this goalpost. When St. Churchill put it rightly, said I've heard many arguments against democracy. Some say it is bad, some say it is this and that, but nobody has been able to convince me of an alternative. So in the absence of anything good, the worst is accepted to be the best.
Wonderful. Let's end with, I'm going to quote 2 paragraphs from an article Franklin Kujo shared on a platform I'm on about the choices MPP faces. And this is in relation to what the MPP needs to do for Ghana.
Which platform is that? Is it a government platform?
No. This is a tax justice platform. So these are people who are tax and finance people. So the article was actually written by a guy called K. Kujo. Then he says, primaries are seductive. They make parties feel powerful. They compress complex national moods into internal applause. But nations do not vote like delegates. Nations vote with memory, emotion, and lived experience. He says, MPP will choose a leader tomorrow. He wrote this the day before the voting. Then he said, the day after, it must choose a posture. Then he asked a question. Will it treat 2024 as an accident or a verdict? Will it defend everything or finally draw lines? Will it reward loyalty or restore credibility? Will it shout louder or speak more truthfully? Then he says the ballot on Saturday will answer one question. The country is waiting for another. That's how he concludes the article. What are your thoughts on that? The fact that, yes, MPP's unity is a key point, but how the party positions to Ghanaians and how it interprets the 2024 outcome is going to be a long way to determine how people see the party as a general public. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, he has shared his opinion. One thing that I took from what he wrote is whether the party reward loyalty or credibility. The party rewarded both. Rewarded Dr. Bawumia for his credibility, rewarded Dr. Bawumia for his loyalty to the party. And that's what I took from his article.
He's talking about credibility to the people of Ghana, not within the MPP, in terms of how the party presents itself to the Ghanaian public, irrespective of who wins. So
over 211,000 people did go to the polls. And I'm not sure you're suggesting that the gentleman Kikujo is the wisest if placed in between these 211,000 people. In elections, people make decisions, and the majority decides on what they believe is the best path to choose. The majority believe that Dr. Bawumia at this point in time possesses the huge credibility, the loyalty to party and nation. And his former boss, Ananda Dankwa Akufo-Addo, also underscored that his loyalty to party and nation is unquestionable. And again, Dr. Bawumia as well for his ideas that has transformed our nation's digital system and his contributions to our governance processes is something that we cannot sweep under the carpet.
It's a lot of time and a lot of interviews coming. So we thank you for your time and congratulate you and also
thank
your
you so
team
much
for winning.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Sammi Awuku is a senior advisor to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and he is also the MP for Ekwapim North. And he was talking to us on a wide range of issues.